So, the peaceful phlegmatic, these people, we can relate them to a zebra in terms of peace. These people, first of all, they are introverts in nature. They are introverts in nature. And they are very practical. They are very practical. What they always do, they'll always perform what they feel is what they perform. Kitegeera waliwo okubeera nga you give a false impression, a false image, but most times these people do not do that. Whereby they are pragmatic in nature and they are concerned in making decisions. They'll always give it time, such that they just don't, they not only use theory, but they now get along with the practical of what they need. When they say, I want to be a friend to you, they will not only stop on saying it, but they will create that ambient environment to be friends. And you will feel that they are friends to you. And because of this, most times they are consistent in doing that. A phlegmatic person waba nga yakwagadde nga mukwano gwe asobola okubeera loyo gy'oli. And they can be consistent in that. And because of that, sometimes decides through experience and personal involvement, show me it works. Whereby, when they want, olw'okuba nti ba mirembe, ebintu bye babeera baagala okukikola mu practical way, like perform it. You don't convince them most times with words, at least do it. And they look for reliability and tranquility. Like reliability, they'll always create a situation that you can rely on them over something. I've ever had a friend of that nature. Remember, at least I believe everyone has ever had a friend of a different temperament that we've talked of, and you've tried to associate, unless you are not keen about.
Sometimes they want to blame themselves on the fault of others.
So they live in an expanded present. They can live around. They try to be like sanguines, but for them, theirs is at times expanded. They can try to see beyond what a sanguine may look at. They may not look at the future most, but they can look at least at the present and tomorrow, because they know tomorrow is somehow near. So they can try to anticipate beyond today, but not as another temperament. We shall see that it looks much into the future. Then they are submissive. They are submissive. They are submissive. They are compassionate. I've not explained submissive, because at least I understand we all get to know how to understand submissive. Then they are compassionate. Have you ever seen a person who is neobango because they can't cut why you've done something small? They tend to be so touched. Stege. Elder Sam Setimba tries to I know that element of flage. I give according to what I see. That's what I see. Think of that one person, golaba nga embeera ze, they are lying to this. Remember, we said one cannot have a perfect what? Trait, but we have blends just along a slope or a slant. And they need stability, these people. Most times, they may not outgo with a person that is stable. They want that now in case now to mean that they need stability, it is a point when they are assured of protection, whereby they say, I can stay with this person and I believe I am protected over something. It may not be perfect, but at least when I'm at such a moment, I can understand that somewhere, either tomorrow it will be good or currently it is good. You get? So they want that stability. Obulamu bwabwe batya nnyo embeera. I can say nti batya nnyo embeera. Baagala obulamu at least give them that assurance. Today is not fine. Tomorrow will be fine. Kitegeera? That is this. Kitegeedde? You read ahead and get to know more about the phlegmatic people. They have strength. Their strength, what can they do best? These guys are loyal. They are loyal. I believe when I say loyal, we all understand what it means. They are peacemakers because they are not good at arguing, they are not good at but they want that environment that makes them feel protected and safe. They are peacemakers in actual sense in their way of living. It is hard to find a phlegmatic person nga mukambwe nnyo. I can take a scenario of my mom. She's a phleg. She's one lady goje okusanga. She look at situations and they are normal. Nga tayagala nnyo mbeera nti muyomba mukaaya naye tabyagalira ddala. That's if you want to see the bad part of her, begin that. She does not like that. That will always sit you down. Gambe, you're this. Try to create a situation whereby you ignore it. But I don't want to see you what? Quarreling. So these guys, because of that, they tend now to be gentle. Being gentle does not stop on what? On only males. Even ladies can be gentle. And they are caring. All that leads them to be caring. Bafaayo nnyo. These guys can overcare. Nogamba bambi. They care. Mark, I know you're now trying to think of that one person who is so caring to you. And because of that, loving, being loyal, being peacemakers, then they are calm. Bakakam. Emotionally, they are very stable because they have that self-assurance that I can live within today and then tomorrow, and I'm feeling that peace, or I'm feeling protected. So they tend to be emotionally what? Very stable. And then they are patient. They are patient in terms of what they are doing. Tebapapa, ebintu bye babikwata mpola mpola, bakwata mpola nnyo. They are patient. Great at directing the flow of activity and helping to grow and organize systems. because of them being very practical and introverted at one moment, they will think about something. How can I have this thing streamlined? How can I have it followed? In what? In a given direction. To see me have it perform what I need. Together. These are the phlegmatic what? People. And they are organized at times. They are good at being organized. Because of having a systematic way of following things, then they are going to be organized. And they are supportive, lastly. They are supportive. Why? They have this compassionate heart that makes them be supportive. Because they don't want you to feel out of place, they'll always come in to provide a helping hand. So try to think of such people that you can use they can use those strengths, or you can use their strength to have them do something. In the Bible, there is a Bible character that you're going to talk about, that you're going to research about, who was phlegmatic. This time when again I gave you one already. However, we said everything has a good and a bad side. And the bad side now in this case of temperaments, you look at it as struggles or challenges. Lack of initiative. Yes.
I think an example of James, the brother.
That is your research. Nyenga mwali. So your research, I'm going to give you the mode. I'll need it at the end of the day. So lack of initiative is one of their challenges. These people need to be followed up. I know of one friend, Simanyi why they were all girls that I'm seeing this. She was a fledge. Nae, it was after me continuously telling her, kola kino, do this, following up continuously, that she could now do what? Perform. Elanga, I asked her, why are you weak at this? She says, I can do it, but in case I don't have an external force reminding me to do this, I cannot perform it. So these guys lack that initiative to start something on their own. And because of that, we see them that they are indecisive. They do not decide. They are indecisive. That is a weakness. They have a difficulty speaking up for themselves. Often they run over by more dominant temperaments. They also because it is a weakness in them.
The answer is no. Not easy to approach them.
Yeah, that is because of feeling that they are introverts, they cannot do something on their own. Then it pushes them to be that way. They are daydreamers in a way that, okay, before I can ask you, what do you understand by daydreaming? Being a daydreamer? They are daydreamers. In fact, what we can say is, these guys oftentimes they have episodes of thought. They can try to think about something small, then they pause and leave it, and then they try to live in the present. They'll now again think about it, they pause, they do the normal thing. They are over into something. They try to think about it in episodes, not continuously. We shall look at one perfect, I call it, okay, I call it the Miastro Melancholy. Okay, I just love it that way. These guys are going to think over something for long, and they'll have a what? A cognitive idea at the end of that day, which is not in their fledge. So they have self-pity. These guys, because of their behavior, they have self-pity. Balwe twasobola kukola kintu kimu ne kiggwa ne beesaasira, sijja kukola kino, sijja kukola kino. These guys are what? Are good at that. Then they are procrastinators. They overextend problems. May I call it overextending problems? They over procrastinate things. They say, I'll do it the other time. That time reaches, I'll do it because they believe they have time. They are good at that. We still have time. Ale, mjira mwongerayo obuzibu. Avoiding problems instead of dealing with them. They just avoid them. They cannot deal with them. Because of that, we find them that they are not good at problem solving. They say, let's take an example. They fear risks. But they say, sisobola kuteeka ssente wano eno nga mmanyi tezigenda kudda. Which is on the same case as a choleric. A choleric will say, you want 50M? Let me give you 50M. You bring back the money or you don't bring back. Nga wano batalafiya aba choleric. These ones, nedda. At least kanzirike. Sijja kukola ki? Sijja kusaayo. Then we have our friends betugenda okusembyayo. These guys, they'll say, 150M. Okay, for what? How are you going to return? How long is it going to take? When my wazibaziganiddeyo? How will I get it back? Okay. Then afterwards they say, anyway, I think when I put it, I might get something. Now kugamba, they think about an idea, several times before they can decide. So those are the peaceful phlegmatic. A question beyond that or concerning that? Have we tried to understand them? Lastly, we have the perfectionist, melancholic. The perfectionist, melancholic. May I call them the Miastro Melancholies? I treasure that much. So, what makes these guys different? These guys are going to decide through validity of argument. They decide through validity of what? Argument. Togenda mukakasa kintu nga tamaze kitegeera. Tolina byonnimba. They are going to decide validity through what? You can argue, but if you argue without facts, you cannot convince this guy. Looks for details and accuracy in the long run. Looks for details and what? And accuracy. They are introverts and they need time alone. These are perfect introverts. I thank God I'm no longer a perfect introvert. But anyway, so these guys, they need information. They are always detailed, They need information. They live in the present past. They live in the present past life. I know you're wondering how they get to do that. They are present. And past life now turns out to be a weakness to them. Why? At times they tend to think that the present should The past is going to define their present. You get? Their times tend to have that bambi, which is sometimes bad. However, it is at one point also good. They might get to know their past and they work hard for the present not to be the same, and then for them to have a better future in that way. So they live in that life. Tusobola okuddako emabega gye ntulowoozaako ne maaso ne tubeera mu mbeera ya bulijjo. Kitegedde? That is the melancholic person. Loves tradition, history, and ritual. Okay. Loves history, tradition, and ritual. I now try to identify why some put me under this. Ebyafaayo ndi mulungi tekituufu. Nange nkyekakasa. History was not always a challenge for me at school. Why? I love looking at years. I need details. Nkakasa nti leader Nichimathi was a leader. For which good? For the Mau Mau. What happened? How was he leading the group? Give me facts, I'll give you details. These are the melancholic people. They love tradition, history, and ritual. Now that pushes them to look for information, to have it, and then they have now details and accuracy. You get? It was hard for you to convince me that the Portuguese conquest began in 1952. Minus you telling me that in 1902 there was a first trial of movement when the Portuguese were looking for species in India. And you tell me in 1952 the Portuguese made an unsuccessful survey along the what? The South African coast. The South African coast. It was hard for me to be convinced by then. I had to go back and read books, and I understood that the journey was begun in 1902. And up to now, I still live to that fact that when you ask me about the Portuguese conquest, the organization of the Portuguese conquest, I will tell that it began in 1902 because I went ahead and read the facts. You get? So these guys are detailed. Most intellectual. They believe these guys are the most what? Intellectual. And they hate being rushed. They hate being what? Rushed. Give them time to think. They are insightful. What does insightful mean? So they create relevant scenarios in their what? In their minds over something. And they are the original skeptic. These guys. What does skeptic mean? They are good at doubting, true. These guys, when you're skeptic, they often doubt beliefs, claims, or plans. Why? Because they do not have a factual background. That's why they will tell you, I can call them the Thomases. They can always want to get the fact. Why are you saying this? What shows? So they will always go back and look for what? For facts, yeah? Then they are serious. That is what they say. That they are always serious. I don't know whether it is true. They are very serious and they are also still sensitive. Are we still together up to that point? Then lastly, among the traits that we can look at, they have highly value, they highly value differences, honor and esteem. We get it, eh? Those are some of the traits that we can talk about the perfectionist, melancholic. Oh, among the traits that we've forgotten out, these guys are perfectionists, eh? Order. They are perfectionists. Some we believe we might have left them out, but they are perfectionists. Now, their strength, they maximize efficiency in pre-existing systems. They maximize efficiency in pre-existing what? Systems. Maybe what we don't have among these, well, we can say that these guys, when they are among the traits, when a melancholy is up, like he's in a group that he knows, he may behave as an extrovert. So when he is up, he may behave as a what? As an extrovert. Why? Because they are now in a society where they understand the people they are talking about. You get? So these guys enjoy fine art still under the traits of these phlegmatic, these are melancholic people. And among the strength that they do have is they are self-sacrificing. These guys are good at sacrificing. Why? Because they want something to be done according to the way they want it, and they want to have it perfected or perfect at the end of the day. We're together. So that is one of their strengths, and brings clarity and definition to systems. Because of being detailed and knowledge filled and good at excavating for facts, you'll get to understand that. Are you understanding something? They'll always seek that attention to see whether something is clear to them or whether you are still giving them what? Attention. Are we together at that? Like, am I trying to communicate something? Eh? So often they produce the Greek works of art. What they try to mean here is the Greek works of art is they try to bring something to a position of you seeing it clear, that you don't need to look for much this, but all what you need is entailed in one thing. You can just say you want how I can relate to biology, and you say you want the whole blood flow system in the human body. They'll always give you that image. The blood begins from here to move. When it reaches here, it happens to find this. All this happen along the way. So it's that you do not need to look for details, because they've labored down to get all the details that you need, in that you get a factual statement. You only read this and understand. Trust me, when you read notes of a melancholic person, or when you read details of a melancholy, it's hard that you're going to find flaws because they've taken time to research about it. And even if you want to be given a thorough description of it, they will always be able to provide it minus any struggles for it. Get it? Perseverance is their thing. They can persevere. Basobola okuyita mu mbeera yonna for a reason of getting to what they want. Endurance, basobola okugumiikiriza. They can have that long suffering when they know that at the end of that day I'm going to see a green light. We get? That is one of their strengths. Then they are gifted planners, attending to all the details. Because what makes them planners, they are analysts. Mu Luganda they say nti bekkenneenya ensonga. Ugamba, they are good at analyzing issues. You cannot just drop them an idea and you think they are going to get to it immediately. Because they fear taking risks. When they take risks, they overthink about a situation. So now they are going to be good at planning. So they are gifted planners, attending to all details. A plan that has been drawn by a melancholic person will be detailed, in that even if it is a challenge, they will try to show that we are going to find a challenge along this way. But this is how we can overcome it. If we don't overcome it that way, we have a possible solution, we have a plan B for that. Good. So, these guys are good at that. And they understand the entirety of a situation. They understand the entirety of a situation. How do they get to understand that? Because they've now done a background check. What was this? You get? How did it come about? Why did it happen? How did it happen? When can it end? And how can it end? And can't it happen again? If it happens again, do we have a backup plan? So they are sure of something that can happen, and they are good at remembering what could have caused it previously. Why? Because they have records of what happened. You get? Are we trying to understand something from that? They have a strong sense of justice, of right and wrong. They have a strong sense of justice. So these guys are good at peacemaking. In fact, they are perfect at doing that. They do not want to create arguments. They always want to come in and create an ambient environment that they want to cause an end of an argument. They always be like, don't argue over this. Don't extend this and this. They always bring in situations. Okay, let's end the matter like this. Let's have it come to an end. We can have it this way. Because they want to bring an argument to what? To an end. So they are, in terms, when they are deciding to choose what is right and wrong, because of that moment, they take to think about a situation. Thinking about an idea, taking long when thinking about it, makes them now get to be what? To be good at judging, like getting to justice for what is wrong and right. That is what we can talk about those guys. They have struggles or challenges. These guys, they undergo depression. Depression is one of the highest challenge with these guys. Why? They live in the past-present situation, and you can relate if you live in your past. They have what we call pessimism. What does pessimism mean? If you're a pessimist, Why? Because they think my past can still come back and can affect my future. They are good at that. But what causes that? It is overthinking about a situation. Abaganda bagamba wonyigiriza ennyindo ogijjamu ki? Wonyigiriza nnyo ennyindo ogireetera ki? Omusaayi. Which is not the case with our guys in choleric. Ekirowooza akakiveeko atambula agambe the past will cater for itself, me I'm moving forward. But these guys are like, okay, you're moving forward, but still think about it, remember. You get? Loneliness is their thing because they are introverts and they want to be alone. Man, that thing.
And they take a lot of time because they take a lot of time to decide.
The worst part of it, it affects us mostly in relationships. That is the bad part. Melancholy okugwa mu mukwano. To get into love, my dear. Musawo gwekikola otya? Why am I asking that? Why am I saying that? These guys can even think about love. They think it will not work out. They think, now in case I'm heartbroken, now in case it does not work out. They are analyzing issues, even love issues. Bambi n'omusanga ng'aluddewo. N'ogamba nti, okay, kati abamu ne batandika n'obasuubiriza, they try to think for you. Forgetting, forgetting that it is just a weakness that you do what? That you do have. So, you find them that they are always lonely. And they have fear because of overthinking about an outcome of a certain situation. Another struggle they have is they can get too caught up in the details and lose sight of the bigger picture. Are we together at that point? Still, trusting someone, at times it is hard. One of the strengths that we could have forgotten is that these guys are so loyal. These guys are loyal. When they make friend with you, it will be what? A friend, a true friend. Try a mistake and break their hearts. Okay, their hearts, not hearts. Their hearts. They will lose trust in you. And even others, they'll assume, oli yammenya omutima ne waneeno, ndowooza naawe ogenda babo. So what happens? They now get depressed and they end up being lonely. Kugamba one situation pushes them to have all the challenges at once. Yonna mulundi gumu. Are we together at that point? Mark, you have something to say?
I think there is a saying that lying, if you lie me the first time, accept it's my mistake. If you lie me for the second time, accept it's kind of stupid. I'm kind of stupid. But if you lie me for the third time, you're making me a fool and you cannot do me.
So those are the melancholic. Aja kukiraba agakitwala, okay. Ino yembeera bweti. Continuously before you do your things ng'olowooza musanyufu, olowooza ensi yonna yonna nsanyufu ye. The moment the bad thing is when they get rid of someone, bamukyayira ddala. That is the bad part. Kasita bakukyawa bakoze ki? Baba bakukyayidde ddala. Kasita agamba nti nno Sir Cyrus wanyiiza nesooka nenkigumiikiza n'ogwo ogwokusatu kati nkutadde. agamba newoyise saagala kola ki kuyitawo. That is a weakness in them. We get it? These guys, they are good at holding a grudge. They are good at holding a grudge because they keep records. They overthink about a situation. So they get hurt easily because they can think about a situation. They try to figure out how you really put them down concerning your decisions that you made, and they feel like you've played on their minds for long. And difficult in embracing the new. These guys are hard at making friends because they cannot embrace the new situations very easily. They'll have to take some time to internalize, to think about it. That is a weakness with the melancholic people. They have a difficulty in embracing the new situations. Hypercritical of themselves and others. They are hypercritical of themselves and and others. And they live in shades of grey. Babeirao. They cannot, because of that past life, they try to think at times they are in a cloud. They fear outcomes that could be bad. And because of that, they fear their feelings to be tampered with, to be hurt. They fear that. That is a weakness with these guys. And much more concerning them, because you cannot exhaust them. But what I know, out of all the other ones, I know these are the perfect among all temperaments. To me. What I can lastly say, how all these relate to the way we understand people. Just like a person is a blend of the four types, so is the aggregated product of human social structures. And these enable us to know that these traits can be expressed by the social structures and are determined by ideas, values, and leaders that are present and active within the structure. So let us live a life of appreciating all, and we get to know that I am not perfect at this, but I am good at this. My friend is not good at this, but he or she is good at this. We get that will give us a feel of who we are.